everything that has been said about that situation in the media, on social media, whatever, it's things that I've already thought of.
Yeah.
So it doesn't affect me as much because I've already thought of, okay, people are going to say this when you move on. People are going to say that.
Hello and welcome to Life Lately, the podcast where we explore and dive into real conversation on relationships, marriages, fashion, and life challenges in general. I'm Nozipho and I'm so excited to go on this journey with you today where I have conversations with my guests and I get to share my own experiences, my insights, and have a conversation with them, and we just explore life in general. On this podcast, we laugh, we cry, and we just ultimately grow together. If this is your community, then you have found the right place. Subscribe and become part of our family. So today I have the most beautiful lady in studio joining me. It's the amazing, beautiful Simphiwe Ngema.
Thank you.
Hi, sis.
Hello, how are you?
I'm okay. I can't believe you're here.
I'm here.
You're in my lounge. By the way, I think I say this all the time. Like literally.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Beautiful.
So do you. And congratulations on all of this.
Thank you.
Proud of you.
Ngiyabonga.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. We're doing this.
Yeah.
So when I was like trying to find stuff, like, because I know everything that everybody knows, but
Yeah.
I was so blown away to actually find out that you were a pastor's kid.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
And what was that like?
It's interesting. Very interesting. I mean, from a young age, your life is literally under a microscope because everybody's watching what you do. Everybody's listening to what you're saying. You make one mistake, it's a big deal. So I think that part of my life prepared me for the entertainment industry because it's the same thing. Yeah. People scrutinize everything about you.
You're expected to be perfect.
Exactly.
Of
course.
No,
What?
can't.
What do you mean? Uyajola. Where?
Mashadile.
Like, exactly. You know what
How
I
are
mean?
you supposed to meet your husband?
Yeah.
Oh, man. And then, like, what's your relationship like with God? Because right now, I feel like it's almost the first thing or one of the things that I discuss or have a conversation with people when I chat to. Because when I found God and I got saved, I feel like that's the part that I want to speak to people on, because also I can see umuntu who lives in God's kingdom, in God's grace, and you are one of those people. Like when you walked in, I was just like, this woman is so graceful.
Yeah. Thank you. My relationship with God is everything. It's my everything. Because I've been in situations where I had nothing and he was my everything. So it's my life. If that is not right, everything else falls apart. And I am so grateful that I grew up in a Christian home, in a home where we were taught how to pray, in a home where we were taught to have a relationship with God and not just go to church and come back and, but just have a personal relationship with God, be able to speak to God and be like, yo, this is what's going on. God has saved me so many times. God has kept me sane. At some point in my life, God was the only thing that made sense.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
That's literally me right now. Like my children are literally my everything. I speak about my children literally every second of the day, but I'm so grateful for the relationship that I have with God. Like when I'm not in control, I'm just like, God, take over. This day is yours.
Yeah.
Lead this day, hamba pambili, because today I feel like, Like today we were saying, but
Yes.
everything was just falling apart.
Yes. And you have to learn to let go.
Go.
And let God. I am learning how to do that.
It's so hard.
It's hard, but
God.
I've told myself that for as long as you've done your best, sometimes you do your best and things still fall apart. It means certain things are not meant for you. Let go. There's certain things that God doesn't want in your life. Let go. Because you've done your best. I don't think God would ever let you do your best and fail at it if it's something that he wants in your life.
Oh my God. Are you in my car? Because I'm listening to that audible right now.
No, you just pray, work, and it doesn't matter what it is. It could be work, could be relationships, it could be anything. If God doesn't want it in your life, it'll continually hurt you.
Having parents that you are PK's child, you are PK. And I think when you grow up in that, I would like to assume that your parents were your role models, and they're still together, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh my God. How long have they been married?
They've been married for 38 years.
Stop.
My sister's 37, my older sister. 38 years. They've been
it's not perfect, but
it's not perfect. It's never perfect.
Yeah.
But I always say this. I learned how to love from my mother.
Oh my God.
And I learned how to be loved from my father. Watching my father love my mother and watching how my mom respected my dad and how she was submissive, how she treated my dad like a king. You know, there's a certain way let's play like if I do little things like that. You know, you learn that in order for me to be submissive, I need a man who's a leader.
Sure.
I need a man who will open doors for me. A man who, a gentleman who will treat me like a queen. I think I also learned to be independent from my dad, but to be submissive from my mom. So they kind of created that balance. And it's so important to have both parents. I now realize how important it is to have a healthy relationship when you are a couple, because your kids are always watching.
Yeah.
They're watching everything you do, and your kids are not going to do what you say. They're going to do what you do.
Yeah. So the Bible does give the manual to say what children are supposed to be raised in a home with the mom and dad.
Yeah.
And
healthy, though.
Healthy.
Took
the words out of my mouth. I was just going to say, as long as you said something so powerful when you said that you learned how to be loved. You saw somebody being loved
exactly
correctly, how your dad loved your mom. And that is so important to have in your life. For me, things like that, it's like, okay, so I have this foundation. The man that God is going to send my way now has such high standards. As a father, as a husband, did that play a role when you chose your first husband, your late husband? Did you think that,
I feel like God sends people to me. Because like I said, I'm always in the house. I'm always minding my own business. I'm not a girl who's going to be out there looking for something. But God in some way kind of brought him into my life. I wasn't looking. I wasn't looking for a guy that's like my dad. He just sent somebody that was so similar to my dad.
Cut short.
Yeah.
But no regrets. We thank God for everything, for the journey.
Yeah, definitely.
And moving on, how did you know when you were ready, Sims? Do you ever know?
You never know. You never know because you overthink everything. And that's why, for me, everything that has been said about that situation in the media, on social media, whatever, it's things that I've already thought of.
Yeah.
So it doesn't affect me as much because I've already thought of, okay, people are going to say this when you move on. People are going to say that. I've just learned to live my truth.
Yeah.
and to do things that work for me and forget about everybody else. When you've been through that type of trauma, people don't exist.
No.
They don't. Like, you are literally focused on what you're going through, and you're focused on, how am I going to get out of this?
Will I ever get out
of this? The opinions, the people, that stuff doesn't matter. That the what you're facing is already big enough. It's already traumatic enough. It's already a lot. It's already overwhelming enough. Where do you get the strength to even care about what people are saying? Or there is no strength. There is no time. There's no emotional capacity.
There's no manual.
There's no emotional capacity to pay attention to stuff like that. So for me, I just told myself that I will focus on who I am, what I want, how I want to get out of the situation, and what I want to take from the situation. Something that is positive and making my life better. And I did not know whether I was going to be ready or not. I just let it happen. And it happened when it happened.
I'm sorry for asking that. I really don't want to bring you back to, I know for me, when we speak on grief and loss, for me, my dad, the closest relationship that I've lost through death is my dad. And I only started having the conversation with my mom after I got married and I understood what it was like to lose a partner. And I always was so selfish about it because I always thought I was the only one that mattered in the house because I just lost a dad, and I forgot that my mom lost her husband. And now that I'm older and I'm going through so much loss in my life and so much change, we are starting to have the conversations at home, and I'm just like, but you never said anything about how painful it was. You never said anything about how difficult it was for you to be in that moment. So I cannot say I know what you're going through. I'll never know. Right now, I've never experienced it. So I always say, if you've never been in my shoes, do not tell me or have an opinion about something that you've never, ever experienced. Ever.
True.
We just have to trust God in our journeys and just trust that He's leading the way. But now look at God, what He did. You're a mom. You are a mom
of two.
You know what
they say.
Like?
You know what they say. One child is 2, 2 is 5, and
5 is a
3,
circus.
3 is I don't know, pandemonium. It is a lot. It is a lot. I have so much respect for moms ever since I got my kids, because it's a lot. My job is demanding, but not as much as being a mom. No, like that is a lot of work. It takes a lot of patience also, but it's also such a fulfilling role.
I know.
I love being a mom.
I know.
I love being a mom. Like the hugs, the kisses, especially boy
mom. Yeah.
The hugs, the random kisses, the random, "Mommy, you look so beautiful today."
Every time.
Oh, I'm doing something right.
I know.
I'm raising such a gentleman, But I enjoy every moment. I enjoy every moment. I think now I'm also consciously slowing down with my second, because I realize how it flew by with my first. Time just, you're just like, what? Now he's walking. He's, so even when I have the most difficult moments, like it's 4 a.m. and I'm sleepy and he's up and I need to feed and change his nappy, I'm just like, oh. And I tell myself, he's not going to need you this much forever. So take in the moment, be in the moment, and look at him. And I look at him and then he smiles. And then I'm just like,
I'm up, I'll feed you.
So I'm like, I'm up. That smile just gives you that energy. It gives you that kick, especially when you are exhausted and you feel like, I am about to burn out.
But we don't. The thing is, something just kicks in.
Yeah.
I have twins and the baby. They're literally triplets, but
Yeah.
I'm always tired. My back always hurts. But if one is up, if auntie will have the other one, shush, I'll be like, okay, let me try the both of them, because you always just feel like
Yeah.
a super mom,
Exactly. Yeah.
And we were talking before we came on camera, and we were like, I enjoy pregnancy so much. You're just like,
No, I do not enjoy your pregnancy. Give me the baby.
that's what
I'll
I
take
want.
the baby any day. Just take the pregnancy away.
Did you
okay?
have difficult pregnancies?
Yes, I do. I always have, like, both pregnancies were difficult.
What happened?
A lot happened.
What didn't?
What didn't happen is the question. You're right. Like, I discovered things that I didn't even know pregnant women go through.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There was a time when I had difficulty breathing.
Yeah.
And then they're like, no, it's because the baby's big. Your lungs are not expanding. They don't have enough space. I'm like, what? I can't breathe. What do you mean? This?
I'm sure Lapo, you 6 months. I know.
I couldn't breathe. I couldn't walk. I couldn't. I was admitted, especially with my first. I was admitted. It was a lot. It was a lot.
And do you have C-sections or normal birth?
C-sections. I am scared.
Me too. I've never had natural.
No. 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 I can't.
Peas. My sister would say we are such peas.
I am scared of pushing. I'm scared of pain. I can't. I can't.
I've never even tried.
No.
Never tried.
The thought of it has never even crossed my mind. I knew the day I have kids, C-section.
I'll go in saying, okay, this time, doc, we're gonna have natural, and then by month 6, I'm like, never mind. Let's have a birth plan for the C-section.
At least it even crosses your mind. It doesn't cross my mind at all.
And my one friend who's given birth naturally always says, it's like just giving a nice dump.
I'm like, I doubt it, ma'am. I don't think so. No. I doubt it.
And the shoulders? I always think about the shoulders. For me, it's not even the head. I always just think about the shoulders. I'm just like, no way.
No, but they say that after the head, the shoulders not. Yeah, it's the head.
No thanks, ma'am. And how's the healing after the C-sections?
Oh, the healing is quick.
Great,
I've got
yeah.
a really good doctor. I've got an amazing doctor. So the C-section was also very quick. We did laser afterwards. I did a lot of things. So the healing was very quick.
The technology now is great.
Yeah.
I also had laser with my last one. I didn't have it with the twins. And birth was like...
And you literally don't have a scar.
Oh, you don't have a scar.
At all.
Okay, well, I do.
I don't.
I've had 4 C-sections in the same place. So I still have a scar, but it's literally just not there. You see it if you're looking. You see it if you look.
Mine looks better now than the first.
The first
one.
I
don't, like, it disappeared. I'm so glad for technology.
I know. Guys, like, we can talk about our kids all the time. Like, if now going home like this, when I walk in, because he's going to be like, you're so beautiful, mom. You can't even say the word beautiful. It's like, you're so beautiful, mom. Like, it's literally the best thing in the whole world.
Best feeling.
And how does it feel like to watch your partner be a dad and to watch your parents be grandparents?
Yeah. It makes me fall in love with him again, because he's such an amazing father.
Yeah.
He is an amazing father. He is so patient. He literally baths my first every morning.
Oh God.
He gets him ready for school. He is just watching him, teach him things also. Teach him basketball. The bond that they have is out of this world. So every time I watch them, I just fall in love with both of them over again.
We are literally shaping somebody's future husband.
Yeah.
And future father. And I always say, when I joke to my kids, I said, your wives owe me, by the way.
I tell my son, I'm like, open the door for me. Carry my bag.
Yes,
and he's only 4 years old.
And
he's only 4 years old. And he knows he needs to open the door for mommy. He needs to carry my bag. He needs to make sure that because he's going to be somebody's husband.
Husband and somebody's father one day.
You don't shout at women. You do not hit girls.
Aww.
You do not... All of that stuff. He has to learn it now so that it comes naturally when he's older. It's not something that he doesn't find himself having to unlearn certain things, You know what I mean?
We also have to become different people in front of our kids.
Exactly.
We have to remember that if I change my tone, and my kid is learning that,
Yeah.
even with the dad, when you communicate with him, you have to be always so mindful of the fact that two people are now watching.
Yeah.
You know?
And the dad's got a strong personality, and like he's got a very big voice also. So they listen to him more than me.
Boys don't listen
I'm
to their
very
moms.
soft. I'm very soft. So I have to say something like 3 times before he does it. And then my husband just says it once and then it's done.
Okay, let me give you this. When boys are turning 12, 13, 14, okay, my boys are scared of me now, the older ones.
Yeah.
But when they were little, they were
They
not.
weren't.
But now when I say, I'm like, okay, mom.
Really?
Yeah.
I hope that's going to happen.
It shifts because they go from also respecting you to also just becoming so protective of you that it's like, we got you. Like my 14-year-old is just starting that age where he's just so protective. He'll be like, where are you? You're not at home at this time. I'm just like, dude, stay in boarding.
My 4-year-old does it now. The where are you? He does it now. He's like, what are you doing? Where are you? What's going on?
Is daddy with you? Yeah.
Or where are you going? if I'm at the house and I'm leaving, he's gonna ask, where you going? I'm like, you're 4 years old. You're not my husband.
No, I'm like, my favorite question is daddy with you? And I'm just like, no. Am I allowed to go alone?
Right?
Oh man, I love it. And then I know that Tino is not South African.
Yep.
What language do y'all speak? Because I'm very curious.
English.
And
that's why when I'm out or when I'm doing my live, I make sure that I speak as much Zulu as I can. Because when I get home, it's from the time you wake up until you go to sleep. But I speak to Tiani in Zulu so that he knows.
Tiani is your eldest. Okay, so he understands a bit of Zulu.
He understands Zulu.
Oh, perfect.
He doesn't speak it as much, but he understands it.
Good for
completely.
I love
because I need to take out that thing of I am Zulu. So you're the only person I can speak Zulu to in this house.
When I also had the advantage of having older kids and learning, I'm sorry, Lutando, always say this. Lutando was literally my trial baby. With him, it was like, get this right, and I'm not going to do this again. And I'm not, and with them, when they, in prep school, they didn't do Zulu. But when they went to high school, they had to choose the language. Either they do English the first language, and then either you do Zulu Afrikaans or you do Zulu and French. So they started Zulu in high school. And though Zulu was around them, isiZulu was around them, spoken at home, but I was never firm with them with communicating in Zulu because the au pairs were also white ladies. So it was even Mazungu, the nanny, also was just like, sometimes we're like, this is what our auntie was saying. But with the little ones now, when I had my little ones, because the age gap is so big, I was so intentional with teaching them Zulu. Even with reading books, I looked and I would search for storybooks in Zulu. And those are very rare, by the way. Can we please have Zulu books, guys?
Yeah.
They're so hard to find. And my little ones, people are like, hey, they speak like proper Zulu. And I'm like, yeah. I'm always so curious with people in the house that are bilingual. How do you balance it? Also, my curiosity is also with you being raised in a Christian home. Was Tino the same? Or what?
Yes, thank God. Thank God. I think it's so important to be equally yoked. Yeah. It's so important to believe in the same things. It just makes life easier. I mean, there are a lot of people that fall in love that believe in different things. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that, but it just makes life easier when you don't have to have those difficult conversations of, okay, so now because Nina Nisonta Nini, all those things. If you believe in the same things, it makes it so much easier.
So much easier. Yeah. And often you only have those discussions when the baby arrives, not before. Yeah. So it's not like, okay, so I come from a home where they believe in Amadlozi.
Yes.
And you'd be like, no, but my parents don't want that.
You know what I mean?
And you'd be fighting over these little things, which are huge things that are going to be affecting this person that you both love.
Yeah.
So
it's funny that you mentioned that, because I had this conversation with my cousin, because her husband, Bapiliva Kumadlozi, and she comes from a Christian home. And I was just having the conversation and asking, how do you guys navigate that? And she said to me, my aunt set her down one time when she was like hysterical, and she's like, "Bafaki phandla, benza nomntanami, I don't believe in this stuff." And my aunt said to her, "Listen, this is what your husband's family believes in, and they're not going to hurt your kids. They want the best for your kids also. So if you keep that in mind, that they also love your child, it's not that they're doing these things to harm them." Then that's when my cousin was like, "Okay,
Same dynamics
yeah,
as me.
yeah,
Same. It took a minute for my mom, even when I got married, to actually be like, okay, so it's like, I said, Mom, there's nothing I can do. Gwenziwa, that's what they do in this home, and I have to respect it. And some weekends, if we're visiting my mom and we want to go to church with her, she's like, please wear long sleeve, please cover. And my little babies were actually christened at my mom's church, and they had iphandla at that time because they just turned 1, I think. Yo, Lalela, my mom had, but she was sweating the whole time. I hope the pastor doesn't hold the jersey. You know, it's such a thing. And our Black community is going back and forth with these things. And I always say it's the conversations we need to have before.
Yeah. And besides, we're a different generation. You know, we're exposed to much more, and we are more open-minded than our parents. So we kind of get that you should not judge people because of what they believe in. You know how our parents are just like, yay,
no,
not
gonna fly.
Yeah, it's not gonna, you know, we're more open-minded. Because another thing, I say this a lot, I have met Christians that are not kind. And I've met sangomas that are kind.
Kinda.
I have met people abaphahlayo, abahlabela amadlozi, who are just beautiful souls, you know. And I've met Christians that are just heartless. And you're just like, are we praying to the same God?
Yeah.
You and I, you know. So I've learned that it's about the person. It's about the person. I believe in what I believe in. I have a strong belief in what I believe in. And I stand firm in being a Jesus girl.
Yeah.
It does not shake my faith that you believe in something else. And I understand that somebody else believes in that as much as I believe in my Jesus. And I have to respect that. I have to respect who they are. I have to respect who they believe in, and not judge.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, we're all going to be sure when we pass on, when we actually start our life, the afterlife. That's when we'll know who's right, who's wrong, who's, you know. But for now, just stick to your lane.
I think it says so much about how we were raised, who raised us to have that type of, what do you call it, openness in meeting people and saying, I respect that, you know, I respect who you are, I respect the way that you are, because Nami, this is who I am. It doesn't shake me. But I think it also comes from the way we were raised, you know, and you have that foundation from your parents, and it shows in who you are. It shows in the way you compose yourself, the way you speak. I love it.
I've never heard my dad judge anybody. I've never heard my dad say this person is an alcoholic, so I'm not going to preach to him, or I'm going to chase them out of church, or this person is gay or lesbian, I'm going to chase them out of church, or whatever. My dad has never been that person. If anything, I remember there was this girl, she was lesbian, and she was going through a lot, you know. And I remember my dad just sitting down with her and speaking and just counseling her, and not saying things like, "Yo, you're not supposed to be in this church because you're lesbian," or whatever. I just remember him looking at a human being and trying to help a human being. And you see, it's things like that I watch my parents do, and I'm like, oh,
You still teach me so much even now.
you know what I mean?
Mm.
I'm still learning so much from you,
Even as an adult.
even as an adult, and people expected him to do the opposite, obviously, because this girl's lesbian, chase him out, and they've taught me unconditional love.
Oh man.
They've taught me that you love human beings. You should be kind to human beings. It doesn't matter where they come from, who they are, how much money they have. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You just love them.
A pastor of mine actually, well, he's not my pastor from my church, but I speak to him a lot when I need guidance and I need prayer. And we were actually just talking about an event they were planning for boys. And he said to me, what triggered that event or that thing that they were trying to do was that a boy was struggling with his identity. And when they got to the bottom of the conversation, it was because this boy had never had a male figure in his life, didn't know anything else other than to identify as feminine because he was raised by women, single parents, aunts, grandmothers, and they took him in, and he's such a happy boy now. We can't judge as to say, when people are bi or gay or whatever, it's wrong. Yes, we know what the Bible says, but people are people at the end of the day, and we cannot shut them out. But when he said something like that, I remembered my son saying when he was trying to find a high school, he was scouted in prep school because he played good sport. And the head boy of the school at the time was gay that had him over, and they were showing him the school. And I said, do you want to leave your prep school? Because his prep school went up to matric.
Yeah.
But the other high school wanted him badly. And I wanted the other high school where the head boy was gay. And I said to him, so what didn't you like about the school that hosted you? He said, there's nothing I didn't like. But what I liked the most was that they are so inclusive that those boys, it's an all-boys school, and they were so inclusive. And this boy got a leadership position to lead the school and be such a good role model, even to masculine boys, and not to say that if you are this, we're going to shut you out. So I learn also from my kids. I know your kids are still little, you'll never be able to, but they teach us things every day,
They do.
So I identify exactly a lot of what you're saying from your parents. And me, it's such a world we live in that we have to also carry all of these things into our lives and teach our boys.
And what does hate do?
Yeah,
it doesn't help.
No, it doesn't.
If you say somebody is gay and you hate them, it's not going to change who they are. It really isn't. It doesn't matter what you say. It's not going to change who they are. Just because somebody's different from you doesn't mean you should not be unkind.
Yeah. I think you're going to be great as a mom.
Thank you.
Oh, man, I love it already. And the baby's not even making you sleep, but you look good. You look
Thank you. I hope so.
Like you're getting 8 hours of sleep, okay?
I don't even remember the last time I had 8 hours of sleep.
Is he breastfed? What is?
No. I didn't have milk, unfortunately.
Would you have wanted
I think
to?
it's genetic
Okay.
also, because my sisters also didn't breastfeed. My mom didn't breastfeed. Like, we'll breastfeed for like 2 months and then the milk is gone. And also, you get frustrated. And the baby's also frustrated.
They're
because
hungry.
you're not supplying
Yeah.
enough milk. So I'm just like, I'm not doing this to myself. I'm not doing this to my baby. Bottle feed.
It's okay. You can have the other alternatives.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay.
I've actually never breastfed.
Really?
No.
I wanted it
I
so
have no
bad.
desire.
I wanted it so bad. Shame. I used to like sit with my baby and be like, and I could see he was getting frustrated.
Is it because you've been
out
told that you bond more with your child if you breastfeed?
No, not ever.
But you wanted to experience it.
I wanted to experience
Okay.
it. I've always wanted to experience it.
I guess you did experience a little bit.
I did, a little bit. I wish it was longer. I do.
No, you didn't miss out on anything. I'm joking. I'm joking. Breastfeeding milk is good. And
Yes.
and the other alternative is good also. No, man, thank you, Sims, for having this conversation with me on motherhood and just learning who you are. I'm so intrigued about people's spirituality right now in their journey in raising children. Because this is when we have to be intentional as parents. It's something we don't think about when we don't have children. I don't even think anybody ever took the time to say, I'm going to be this type of parent and this type of parent. But when you do have and you hold this baby in your arms, it's like, okay, something has shifted.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like that motherhood thing just kicks in. It just kicks in, and it's such a beautiful thing, such a beautiful experience. I live for it. I live for being a mom. Like, I live for the kisses, for the hugs, for the thank you, mommy. That just melts my heart. And I live for the conversations I have with the teachers, and they're like, he's such a good boy. He's such a gentleman. And I'm just like, oh, okay, at least I'm doing something right.
To your future sons, what would you say now to them when they're older? And in 10 years from now, 15 years from now, what would the message be for them as if they choose to be husbands or fathers?
I would say always lead with love, always lead with kindness. Always be who you are, be true to yourself, always live your truth, irrespective of what your truth is, whether it's pain, whether it's happiness, whether it's joy. Struggle if you have to struggle. Don't be afraid. Speak if you need to speak. You are not perfect. You're going to make mistakes. Be lenient on yourself. Forgive yourself. Learn from your mistakes and move forward proudly.
Mommy loves you.
Yes, of course, mommy loves you.
Thank you so much. I know you're so busy. You are so busy. I don't know how you balance it all.
I don't know. I don't think I do balance. I do what I can every day. Yeah.
But thank you for coming and having this conversation with me. It means so much to me, sis.
It's a pleasure.
Yeah,
it's a pleasure.
I hope you guys enjoyed our conversation with Simphiwe, and I hope you guys learned something and took something away from this conversation, because I did. Please take part in the comment section down below. Do subscribe and follow our Instagram page. Thank you so much for tuning in.